Welcome everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and this is going to be somewhat of a fun run. I mean, this is Myst after all, and there's really not much you can do in way of challenges. So, but what I will say is that, yeah, we will go through Myst, and I will actually recount all of the experiences and troubles and tribulations that I've had in solving Myst. So, after these beginning credits, which at the time when I first played this game I thought were just epic, I thought they were awesome. So, let's pause for a moment and listen to the story.
The moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed. I must admit, however, such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my Myst book are unsettling to me. I know my apprehensions might never be allayed. And so I close, realizing that perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
And with that, you are starting the game. You have your arrow cursor, which would be your main point of interaction here. And as you can see, everything pretty much draws you to the image. So you click on it. And there's the classic sounding portal entry sound effect, and you're in. And what I did first actually was go up to that gear up there, but we're going to do something a little different actually. We're actually going to go to what I actually found last on the island, which was this, I'm not really sure, the illusion projection room, I guess you could say. You can start it off, as you can see, it's just water, but press the button and it's all just an illusion. So, lights, magic and mirrors. Press the button and the water comes back. And then, of course, on your way out, you notice something on the wall. It looks like there's various settings for this dimensional imager and a little button up here you might miss. So, obviously, it was at 67, which was the water. Kind of annoying beeping, but yeah, whatever. Now, this looks pretty cool, and in fact it was pretty epic back then when this game first came out, but I mean, in all seriousness, I don't see the usefulness of having it here. I guess somebody spent a lot of time and effort into this graphical asset, and they're like, well, I don't want to put it to waste, let's just put it in the game somewhere, so they popped it here. So that's how I feel about that. It serves no real purpose to the overall game. But this is the one you might want to take a look at, the marker switch, just to get an idea of what they look like, so when you come across them later in the game, you know exactly what's being talked about. But yes, my first thing, of course, was to go up straight to that gear when I first played this game. Oh yeah, marker switch, look at that. Always want to turn them on. But I was a little disappointed because I came up here and there was really nothing to do except flip this switch. So there's really not a lot to do on the island. Yeah, there's the tower up there. We're going to be going there shortly. But, I mean, you gotta just slowly unravel the island, you know, bit by bit as you go through it. Up, enter the number of marker switches. Okay, so we found 2 so far, right? And here comes a third one right here. And this looks like almost like a dentist chair in a way. And right away, there's nothing really, you know, gives it away what exactly it is until you turn on this switch here. And then it becomes a planetarium almost. You can stargaze. Of course, you have a ton, like literally a metric ton of options to choose here, but I'm just going to do my birthday. So let me see if I can get as close as... Oop, that's going up. I don't think I'm going to get anything for my birthday, but whatever. But clearly, without some sort of guidance here, you're not going to find anything of value in this planetarium. Alright, now the other major structure here would be this, what looks like a library of sorts, but we're not quite ready for that yet. That'll be our last stop. But you got a nice little fountain in the courtyard here, and several interesting posts with symbols. That one, of course, being an eye. This one is a snake. This one is a bug or a spider of a sort. This one's an anchor. And you might want to turn that on too, might as well. This is an arrow. And we have 3 more to go through. A leaf. A cross. And finally, a bird of a sort, or crane. So, clicking on them will turn them green, but right now they're all red. And this is a nice little detail I liked. Sometimes if I was bored or if I was lost and stuck, I would just come to this point and watch the butterflies fly around. It was a nice little detail. It only seems to be in that one area, too. But yeah, I came straight here as I was going across the island because this looked pretty awesome. This cool thing. So the big one manipulates the minute hand, and the small wheel manipulates the hour hand. But, and then you push the button, but apparently that was not the right time. So you're going to have to somehow figure out the right time you need to set that clock before that red button will do anything. And then you have a little cabin out here in the woods. And looks like a gas heater, and sure enough, as you turn on the gas and turn it off, you can hear it. And then if you look behind you on their way out, it looks like a safe. Now you could probably brute force your way through this safe, but that's a lot of combinations. So you're going to have to figure it out. You have to find that combination lock. Now here's something I didn't find until way, way late after I completed like 1 or 2 ages, was this tree. I did not know you could go behind the cabin and find this ginormous tree. And obviously there is something special about it. We just don't know what yet. I mean, I do, of course. I've played this game so many times, but, you know, those who have first viewed Myst for the first time, you may not know. And another marker switch. So what is that, 7 now? There was one by the clock we couldn't reach, but that's 7 marker switches. And you open this door, which looks like to be a generator room. Then you have these little buttons, which increase the generator power by a certain amount. You know, it would probably be a good idea to write down how much each button raises the generator amount. Now obviously the right one just went down to 0, so there's got to be something that overloads the right power. Whatever the right side goes to. And if you turn around, you look at this and... Whoa, spaceship! Where the heck is this thing? Where did I miss that? Well, that's actually our next destination, actually. But we have to figure out where the circuit breaker tripped, because that power to the spaceship just went down like crazy. So we're going to go past this house, and up here, this is one of 2 circuit breakers, and that doesn't seem to have tripped there. So we're going to have to follow this line down the island and find the second circuit breaker tower. There's a spaceship, looks more like a rocket to me, but yeah, sure. Oh, that sounded like we tripped it, so power will now go back to the spaceship if we attempt that generator puzzle again. And this looks like to be our 8th marker. And of course the door will not open because there's no power to the rocket spaceship thingy. But since we're going to get there yet, we're not going to check the library, but since we have found 8 marker switches, let's see if that's the correct number. And enter it into the transdimensional illusion maker. And if everything is correct, we should probably receive a message from whoever wrote that. Atris, I believe.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine, it's one of our sons. I suspect Achenar, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return. But if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, wait, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
Okay, clearly this message was not meant for us. It was meant for someone named Catherine, and she did not view it because it has not been deleted. So something must have happened to this Catherine, and apparently his sons, their sons, must have done something terrible. But that's a puzzle for another time. We are now in the library. There's a lot of things to look at. I mean, the first thing of, order of business is checking out this bookshelf. Unfortunately, a lot of the books are already burned, but there are 4. This one, and 2 others that correspond with 4 ages that you will be visiting in this game. And there's another book in here that we'll look at, but that comes later. And if you want to look up towards the ceiling, you got a nice little mosaic up at the ceiling there to look at. Whoa, this looks ominous. You have a book conspicuously placed on a podium, and you open it up and there's an interesting panel. So what do? Take the page and add it to the book and see what happens.
Serious? Are you? See you. Help me. Bring blue pages. Never. Pages. I must have the blue page. Bring them to me.
Okay, so that was probably Achenar. He said so himself. But if he's one of the brothers, the other one must be here. Achenar didn't sound very sane. So we'll see what Sirius is like.
Why? Bring me a red page. I can't see. You red, you must. Make a bring. Shh. I am serious. Give it up. There's one thing I'm going to do. Rescue.
And that was Cirrus. That's the other brother. Or the other son, I should say. And he seemed a little pompous, if you ask me. But we'll see who to trust in the end. But then you got these 2 paintings. This one... Whoa, my goodness, what just happened? Apparently when you touch it, it moves the bookcase into some stairs. And then you got some nice, interesting hallway back here that's very secret. I remember when I first played this, I thought that was the most amazing discovery ever. I was like, oh my goodness, does anyone else know about this? And I was also pretty astounded at the time. This was back when I was like 10 or 11 or some such age, but oh my goodness, the elevator just moved sideways. That's not possible. You know, these basic, you know, animations were pretty groundbreaking at the time of game release. It took me forever to realize that, hey, you could actually go around the elevator, because forever and ever I would go straight back into it and then go downstairs, but I would never go back behind and look at this key part of the wall, which by right now it's blank. There's nothing there to look at. But that's something that'll be rectified. But since both walls are kind of a blank slate, like literally, there's no other choice but to go back downstairs and figure out what to do next. We're almost done with the library. What's this? Our way out is blocked. But we can fix that by touching the other portal. I guess painting, I could say, you know? And portal paintings, yeah, I like that. So, touch the other portal painting, and the door is open. But what is this? Why the heck is a fireplace here? But if you look in the dark, you see a switch. And oh my gosh, I'm trapped in here with a panel that responds to touch. And there's literally, I don't know, a million combinations you could use here, so without some sort of guide, there's no way you could figure out the right combination to that. You know, just purely guessing. Oh, something's blinking on this map. Oh my goodness, what just happened? If you notice, it stops on 4 different locations. And that becomes very important later, and we'll talk about that. In fact, Atris himself mentioned the tower rotation, so this is probably where we should start off on solving the puzzles of Myst Island. But with that, we've explored everything we can without solving anything, so we will continue on in the next video and actually explore an age for real. Until then, see you later.